Are the beliefs that you have about money getting in the way of the success that you could be having in business? We get to work with business owners all of the time from all walks of life and all different upbringings at different stages and different profitability and different views of what a lot of money is and what not much is and how much they need. And it is really, really fascinating to unpack with these business owners some of the ways that they think about money. And it can be very evident that our upbringing and the things that we believe to be true about money can really impact the profitability and the success that we can have. To give you a quick example, if you grow up being told that rich people are evil and that money doesn't grow on trees and that money is hard to come by, what do you think you're going to carry into your business landscape and business beliefs? Firstly, if you think that money is hard to make, well, that's not a good belief to have, because you will have times where you found it easy to make money, I'm sure, in your business journey, and then your brain doesn't then tell you that that's the data that you actually need. So if you continue to believe that it's going to be hard, you're going to look for evidence that it is hard to make money. But realistically, it's not hard to make money. It is the easier you can make it. Well, the way to make it easier is to provide more value, because money exchanges hands when value exceeds price. That's true. That's not a belief. Well, I guess it is a belief, but the more valuable you can make something, the easier it will be for you to sell that. You could have a deadline and it will make it easier to sell something. Businesses will use discounts and provide incentives, and it will make it easier to sell. So this is real data rather than a belief as such. You have to be very careful with the types of things that you've decided to be your beliefs. Now, another belief could be that you're not worthy of making money, and so that's making it harder for you to make money or to hold on to money, because once you have it, you think you're not worthy of it, so you think, well, I better get rid of it. It could be that, I've worked really hard, I deserve this, and so then you look at the bank account and you think, well, I'm going to take from this because I deserve it, but you don't understand what bills you have to pay in the future or tax obligations and those sorts of things. Now, it could be that you're doing really well and you might reward yourself, and then you go back to your family environment and they say to you, oh, you must be making too much money. Interesting how they say you must be making too much money instead of, oh, you must be providing a lot of value into the marketplace to be able to afford that. It's a very different thing to say, isn't it? So as you go through your business journey, which can be one of the best self-development journeys that you will go on, you have to be mindful of this, and you have to understand how it could help or hinder your business growth or future. So from the top, I want you to think about what things you believe to be true about money, and think about the things that serve you well and the things that don't serve you well, and slowly remove the things that don't serve you well. Now, secondly, actually just ask yourself, those things that don't serve you well, where did they come from? And are they true? And do you want to keep thinking that? I had a conscious point in my life where I decided I didn't want to believe that it was hard to make money. What a waste of energy in thinking. So I just got rid of thinking that way, and I started to look for, well, how do people make it easy? What do they need to do? Secondly, what we see with clients a lot of the time, they're constantly worried about money. Does this come from your upbringing? Does this come from your mum, from your dad? Where does this come from? But why are we worrying about money? Why aren't you worrying about where your next meal is coming from? Whether you're going to exercise tomorrow? Why is it always money that creates this worry? For a lot of us, money has a lot of emotion, and we've got to try and figure out where this is coming from. Money is just a form of energy, and it flows around, and if we can get ourselves in between the flow of it, we can get a piece of it as well. But often what we find is that some of our high-performing clients, they worry about money when they don't really need to. Or I'm worried about hiring because, what if work slows down? Well, has work slowed down over the last 4 years? Well, no, it hasn't. It's only continued to grow. So then is this worry real? Because most of our thoughts with our brain will be negative, and they'll be the same as the day before. So you will worry about the things that you worried about yesterday, and they were the things you worried about the day before. Now, 90% of these thoughts are the same as the day before, and 80% of all of them are negative. So then if we ask a client, well, do you have any data to support this worry? Often they don't. And then if we say, well, if this thing did happen, and we hired this person, and then for some reason, which we have no data to suggest will happen, that we slow down on the amount of work that we have to do. What will we do? Oh, well, I'll have to let someone go. Okay. So we already have the answer as to what we'll do. So why do we let this worry get in the way? So that's your second thing you need to be careful of. Is there any data to support your worry? And sometimes you can get an accountant to help you understand the financial side of the business to then decrease the amount of worry because they can see what you can't see. And then thirdly, this is one that holds people back, and this is them not feeling valuable enough. So what they do is, because they don't feel valuable and they don't think what they're selling or doing is valuable, when they go to sell it, they offer a discount, or they say the price and they say, but we can take 10% off that if you need. Well, maybe I was happy to pay full price. So why are we doing that? That's on us, because maybe we're not feeling valuable enough to do that. So you'll notice that really valuable and high-performing business owners and people who really back themselves, they don't do these things. They've worked through these issues, these money issues and these self-belief and worry issues and value type issues to a deeper level, and they go, the fee is this. And then they wait for the person to say, well, they're either going to pay it or not. They don't say, oh, but we could probably knock a bit off the price, So you need to value what it is that you're doing. So if you do this where you kind of don't value yourself and what you're selling, you've got to ask yourself why. Where did that come from? Where's the data to suggest that you shouldn't value it? If you've sold it at a certain price previously, there's data to suggest that the market will pay that. But if you are worried about your value, then get what you sell, your service or your good, and write down all the reasons that it's valuable to somebody who would buy it. So what are the outcomes that person gets? And those things that you can speak to being valuable for that person are then what you need to be selling, rather than the price. That's how you build value into it, by telling the person why it's valuable and practicing that and writing it down and doing it consistently. Tidy those three things up and you'll make more and you'll keep more money.